Today we're going to discuss the economic impact of the usage of solar energy to address acid rain. What is acid rain? Acid rain is a form of precipitation which contains nitric or sulfuric acids. Acid rain can occur in any form of precipitation like snow, hail, sleet, or fog. Cycle of acid rain. The reason it is called acid rain is due to the release of atmospheric pollutants such as oxides of nitrogen and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. The atmospheric pollutants then react with water, oxygen, and nitrogen in the atmosphere to form sulfuric and nitric acids. These acids then spread all over the atmosphere by the winds. As acid rain reaches the Earth's surface, it destroys the ecosystems and the water systems. Acid rain generally has a pH of 4.2 to 4.4, and normal rain has a pH of 5.6. What causes acid rain? Acid rain is mostly caused by human activity such as burning fossil fuels and the use of vehicles, such as cars. Acid rain can also occur due to natural causes, such as rotting vegetation and erupting volcanoes, but this only produces small amounts of nitric or sulfuric acids compared to the amount human activities produce. How does acid rain affect us? Effects on humans. Okay, so acid rain is often represented as a corrosive element which dissolves metals and other materials. Fun fact, according to scientists, acid rain is just as safe as swimming in a non-acidic lake than a lake affected by acid rain. Although acid rain may be safe when you swim in a lake affected by it, it causes many indirect health effects. The particles that cause acid rain, such as sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen, can be harmful to humans. The sulfur dioxide particles causes health problems such as asthma and bronchitis. The oxides of nitrogen promotes the formation of ground-level ozone, which causes serious health problems such as chronic pneumonia and emphysema. How does acid rain affect wildlife? The ecological effects of acid rain are mostly seen in aquatic ecosystems such as lakes, ponds, and streams. Acid rain can be very harmful to the species such as fishes, mayflies, snails, and frogs. As the acid rain falls into the lake, it can separate the aluminium from the soil clay particles and flow around in the lake. The more acid rain is released into the lake, the more aluminium from the soil is separated. And higher the amounts of aluminium in the lake, the more species die. Most of the fish die if the lake's pH levels are below 4.5. Crustaceans and amphibians die if the pH level is below 5.5. This affects land animals like bears and seals, who rely on aquatic animals as a source of food. Animals that live on land are affected by acid rain as they get similar lung conditions such as bronchitis and pneumonia in humans. How does acid rain affect plants and trees? As mentioned, the aluminium, which is separated from the soil clay particles, also affects plants and trees. The aluminium is dangerous to the plants and trees as it destroys the growth of the plants and trees' roots. Acid rain also removes the nutrients or minerals that plants and trees need to be able to grow. The acidic fog, a form of precipitation of acid rain, takes away the nutrients or minerals away from the trees and plants, which turn the leaves into a dark brown color and makes them weak. The trees cannot absorb the sunlight, which makes them unable to stay in a living temperature. How can we reduce the amount of atmospheric pollutants that cause acid rain? We can reduce the amount of acid rain by reducing the amount of atmospheric pollutants. This can be done by using renewable energy such as solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, and tidal energy. In this video, we're going to focus on solar energy and the economic impact of it to address acid rain. How can we use solar energy to reduce acid rain? The atmospheric pollutants such as oxides of nitrogen and sulfur dioxide, which cause acid rain, are caused by the pollution from burning fossil fuels. What if we use renewable energy for electricity rather than fossil fuels? The usage of renewable energy creates very low amounts of pollution compared to the amounts fossil fuels create and would therefore reduce the amount of atmospheric pollutants created. By investing in solar energy, you can keep the ecosystem healthy as there would be no atmospheric pollutants, which would contribute to acid rain. What is the economical impact of the usage of solar energy to address acid rain? Around 6 billion tons of atmospheric pollutants are released every year. The United States alone contributes to 23% of these emissions. Solar energy is a great way to contribute to the reduction of these emissions. On average, in 2019, the United States uses 62% of fossil fuels to generate electricity, 20% of nuclear energy, and 17% of renewable energy. And only 1.8% of the renewable energy comes from solar energy. Solar energy to power the entire United States. So, the US requires about 4 petawatts of electricity to power the whole country. 4 petawatts is equivalent to 4 million gigawatts. A photovoltaic panel, a type of solar panel, can produce 0.357 gigawatts of energy per every acre per year. So, if we take a desert like the Mojave Desert in California, which is 14 million acres, and cover it with a photovoltaic plant, which requires 2.8 acres of land per photovoltaic plant, we can power the entire United States by having around 5 million photovoltaic plants. Cost for the project. If one solar farm wants to have 1 megawatt of electricity, they would need to pay $1 million for the installation. For a solar farm that wants to produce 4 million gigawatts of electricity, they would need to pay $4 quadrillion, 15 zeros, for installation. The solar farm also needs to pay for the storage of these electricity, which can be done with batteries. These batteries cost a huge amount of money, especially if you want to store energy from solar panels that cover around 14 million acres. Although the amount of money that the government needs to pay looks like a lot, it can supply the entire United States with electricity throughout its lifetime. However, not all countries have a rich economy like the one the United States have. Developing countries may not be financially stable to install solar farms to be able to use for electricity. Fossil fuels versus solar energy. We know that if the US were to run on solar energy, it would cost the government $4 quadrillion. What about if the entire country were to run on electricity from fossil fuels? To provide the entire country with electricity from fossil fuels, it would cost $2 quintillion. And this one has 18 zeros. To build the power plants. So, let's briefly look at the disadvantages of building power plants. Number 1, it releases dangerous atmospheric pollutants such as sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen, which is very harmful to our atmosphere. And the period to build each and every power plant is 5 years. And power plants run on fossil fuels, and if you don't have enough fossil fuels to run the country, there is no need of power plants. Benefits and disadvantages of the use of solar panels. So solar energy is a very renewable source of energy. It does not create atmospheric pollutants like fossil fuels does. It is a reliable source since it comes from the sun, and as long as the sun is there, we would get the source of energy. It reduces electricity bills as you are either using the electricity from a solar farm or from the solar panels on the roof of your house. And they also have very low maintenance costs, and because like the solar panels, they do not need to be maintained often, apart from keeping them clean, which come at a relatively low cost from the solar panel manufacturing companies. Disadvantages of solar panels. Solar panels have very high prices. Though technology is always expanding, maybe in the future the prices may drop. And solar panels need the sun. So if you live in a place where the hours of sunlight is low, then you should consider other ways of using renewable energy, like wind energy. And the storage for the electricity that comes from solar energy is expensive. Solar energy needs to be used immediately or needs to be stored in large batteries to use electricity in the night. These batteries are really expensive. Disadvantage of solar panels health-wise. Solar panels can break due to extreme weather conditions such as hail and storms, and can make substances inside the panel such as cadmium and lead leak. The substances like cadmium and lead can cause environmental damage and even lung diseases in kids upon inhalation. The use of solar energy helps to reduce the amount of atmospheric pollutants, which helps to reduce the amount of acid rain. Though the use of solar energy will make a small but consistent difference in the atmospheric pollutants, it will be constant to reduce the amount of acid rain. Thank you for watching.